Happy Sunday morning, everybody. Once again, you are tuned in to the SBP. Hope everyone is well. As always, I'm your boy Prime Source. What is good?
What up, Prime? What's going on, man? It's John Blaze. I just joined early. It ain't. I shouldn't say that because we had 90 by this time for real earlier this week or last week. So it ain't that bad, but it's not. It's not cool. It's not cool. But I'm out here. What's going on?
Not a thing, man. I see you out there in them streets, or at least in the yard. Two places that I'm not going today, and unless I got to take the trash. I'm hoping my son took the trash out, and I ain't got to walk out there because I don't plan on messing with that heat, if at all possible.
I don't blame
If it's
you.
just a short trip outside, but you know.
It ain't pretty. That's all I'm gonna say. It ain't pretty.
Yeah, knowing my luck, I'm gonna have to go out there for something. Can you go get some out the car for me? Can you go do this? I already know. I already know.
I already know I got to go get food later. So
Word up, man. Word up. Well, man, it's a Sunday that we're going to talk some basketball. But before we do that, man, what's on your bandana right there? I see you got a bandana on.
hey, I had look. So all right. So Friday is the beginning of the 2024 Olympics.
Word up.
So, because there's a chance so my family, watches the Olympics. Like, we used to be up at midnight, 1 o'clock, school, work, it didn't matter. We was up watching the Olympics and trying to avoid the updates when they were overseas in different countries where the time was way ahead. So, we're a fan of the Olympics this year. Possibly might be our last Olympics in the same house with all four of us in the same house. Possibly.
Okay. Positive.
So I was like, in case it is, we might let's do something. Let's do something different. So we came up with our own Olympics called the Smith Olympics. So
Okay.
we did we did some events yesterday, um, between the four of us, and had a good time. We had shirts and you got to see the bandanas. So
Let's
we had
go.
we had a good time. And I'm dropping videos during the week on TikTok leading up to the actual Olympics. So I think we'll start the day with the opening ceremonies and then do the 5 events up to Friday, and then you'll see who the winner is overall at the end.
That's dope, man. That's
Yeah.
dope. Let me ask you a question. Any of this involve running?
No, it did not. Thankfully, I mean, we already know who the winner was going to be if it involved running.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was a wrap. So it was a fair events that we could all excel in or just be terrible in. But yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time. I wish it was some running events, some more physical. Make sure I still got something in the tank. I don't know.
I found out not too long ago that I have nothing. I have nothing. You know, in the words of the late Whitney Houston, I think we were talking about two different things, but it's all in all, it's still the same. I have nothing. So,
Nothing. Nothing. Dang, Brian.
beer
I'm
drinking
sorry.
contest, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm saying I'm sorry. Like, I know. I don't know my answer. So hopefully we don't have to find out no time soon on nothing important.
Word up, man. Word up. Let's see who we got. No, no, Caesar, we don't miss you.
Caesar ain't gone yet.
Nah, Caesar's still around. What up, man? What up, Caesar? Good morning, man. To you and the fam, man. Especially the little man. Little man look 10 times better than you do, too, man. That's a cute little fella, man. No doubt.
Miguel.
No doubt, man. Respect. Um, say leave next Tuesday.
As in 9 days from now.
So not this Tuesday coming up, Caesar, but
You
next Tuesday.
Because Caesar could mean 2 days from now or 16 days from now. So we got to clarify.
He said, yeah, I think it's about next Tuesday after this one coming up. Yep, 9 days.
Word. Well, hey, look, man, for real. I don't even know what to say. I don't know if I want to say congratulations. I don't think it's a congratulations thing, but good luck, best
Yeah,
wishes,
no doubt, man.
and we appreciate you doing that. And man, that's tough. That's tough. I feel
No
like you was
doubt.
inspired by not only Josh but also Pat Tillman. Like for real, I'm not even trying to be funny.
Word up.
Like because Pat Tillman had his life set at what it was, and felt that need, urge, whatever, to go out there and serve the country. So can't be mad at that. So salute.
Not at all, man. Not at all. So safe travels, good luck. Respect, to your family and everybody, man. And I guess sure you'll pop on a few times before you roll out. But other than that, man, we'll see when you get back.
Yo.
No doubt. But yeah, man, you talking about some heat out there. I know it's not gonna stop a lot of cats from shooting hoops. I mean, what else? What else is there to do nowadays, man? We have no NBA. We ain't got the football season yet, and we pretty much hit the Olympic break in the WNBA. So, which is going to be what we're talking about today, and what it should be what we're talking about today with everything that's going on in the fantastic year that the league is having, man. So, what we want to do is, man, I think only right source, man. We start off, of course, with All-Star Weekend or All-Star Friday and Saturday. I don't know. Can you call it a weekend when there's nothing Sunday going on? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna start with All-Star Friday night. Actually, we got the festivities. Of course, we had the skills competition. We had the three on three, or 3x3, or 3x3, or whatever they want to call it. And of course, we had the 3-point competition go down. And I had a really good time Friday night. I had some things that I had to do. I made sure I kicked them out of the way early because I wanted to see these ladies get out here and perform and have fun while they were doing it, man. What were your thoughts on Friday night?
Friday night was dope, man. Um, so I'm sure people had their jokes and got their shots in when the camera people made the mistake at the beginning, and they were on Kelsey Mitchell as they were introducing Alicia. I say Alicia like everybody else say it, but it's Alicia. Alicia. I don't know if it's really
Depends
Alicia.
on who the announcer is. It's Alicia,
Yeah,
Alicia. I heard somebody say Alicia, but
we sticking with Alicia. Alicia Gray. Um, yeah, they were talking about Alicia Gray introducing her, but the camera was on Kelsey Mitchell, and I'm sure people got their jokes in. See, even the cameraman and ESPN, don't know the players. I'm sure the jokes and the memes were flying somewhere. Luckily, I ain't see them. So, but we'll talk about her a little later. I ain't gonna, because I know that's your people's. So I ain't even gonna go too far with that. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. It was a good time. I always like seeing the personalities of the players and then the people that pulled up and all that. It was a good time, man. It was a good time overall.
yeah. When I saw everything that was going on before the game, actually even before Friday, they had early in the week they called the orange carpet,
Yeah,
and I checked that out over on the app, and that was pretty dope. Seeing all the ladies coming out there looking good out there dressing. And you don't think the WNBA got style, bro? They got style. These ladies were asking them, what you got on? What's the fit? And they breaking it down. Kind of Christian Dior this, Fendi that. I think my favorite, of course, just plain and simple, was Diana Taurasi, because Diana, like, Diana ain't gonna dress up like that. Diana got on a plain white shirt. I think she had on some dark or black colored pants. And we got to find out a little bit about her, her lifestyle in her home, because she says just about everything she has hanging in the closet is white or black. So, and she kept it real, man. And I love the way she handled herself out there on the orange carpet. But just to seeing all those women out there, whether it was ladies participating in the All-Star game or just a skills competition, and then some of the folks who haven't quite made it to the league yet, we saw, Flage was out there, Paige Beckers. It was a beautiful thing, man. I am so happy for these women, man.
absolutely. And this is great timing or coming off of the news of a new media deal coming through So that's dope. You know, when we see it officially official, see that joint say expected. Oh, expected. I want to like, is it officially done or is it expected? Like I see it as expected to be 2.2 billion, but is the deal done or is the deal on the way?
I think it's on the way, but what people don't know and not realizing is they've been talking about this for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
A lot of things have changed, of course. The viewership is definitely going up, the revenue, but this deal is not something that just got put in place because of this rookie class. And this has been in the works for a while. At least 2 years ago, I remember they were talking about. I remember what the numbers were, and there was still some pretty big numbers. I don't know if it was this much, but they've been talking about this media rights deal for a while.
right.
And so I am so happy for the league. I'm hoping. When I was hoping, man, before I jump back into this All-Star stuff, I'm hoping. And I know people are going to say it's a stretch. You got to take baby steps. If we can get to a point where there is a TV channel or at least something that we can stream 24 hours with all this money coming in of just WNBA. If you go to the NBA network or the NBA channel, even in the off season, man, we getting all types of old interviews. We getting all the old games from the 80s and 90s,
True.
the throwbacks. We getting all of that. And I would love the WNBA has enough history now. What are we at? So it's 27 years?
27 years.
27 years. They have enough ammo now. They got enough in the chamber now where they could do that. And we can get the WNBA in some sort of fashion, even in the off season. Throw me back some old games. You know what I'm saying? Go back. All these new fans, all these new fans and stuff coming in. If you're really a true fan and not just a fan of just one particular person, you may want to go back and sit back and watch some of these old games and watch the dominance of a of a Cynthia Cooper or a Cheryl Swoops. You know what I'm saying? You want to go back and watch the dominance. Go back and watch T Spoon when she was out there, a straight dog on the court, and kind of understand, what she was all about, and Tisha Penachero. That's what I would love to see with all this money coming in, man.
That'd be a beautiful thing, man. And yeah, exactly that. Um, People that are new fans or even older fans that have been around but haven't seen particular moments or particular games in years. And that would be a perfect opportunity. Even even if even if it wasn't a 24/7 thing, even if it was just during the season, just to get it started. Let's get it started, and let's get something out there for the people because the people need to know.
People need to know. And if you're a true fan, even if you're a new fan, you might want to know.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, this All-Star Weekend was great. I mean, you mentioned one of my, I don't know, one of my girls, one of my babies, been talking about for a minute. But Alicia Gray, bro, let me tell you something. I think we were tossing around inside the group about who was going to win the 3-point competition. And I thought, I said that I thought that Kayla McBuckets would probably win it. I said, I love Alicia Gray, but Kayla McBuckets might win it. But, it was a great competition, but my girl went out there and did her thing on both ends. Like, she goes out there first, snags the skill competition. She was like a jet, bro. Like, especially with that first run, she was gone.
lying.
Like, just gone out the gates, man. And then she comes right back in one of the best 3-point competitions or final rounds, I should say, that I've ever seen. It came down to her and Jonquel Jones, and Jonquel Jones falls one bucket short of when it went down truly to the last shot. It was crazy.
It really did. It went down to the last shot, and John Quell that first round. John Quell was on fire.
Woo!
She was clicking when she got up near the top of the key, and then over
Mm-hmm.
to the wing. Man, she was on fire. So shout out to her. But yes, Alicia Gray got the win in the skills competition, and she killed it the first round specifically. She ran through that joint, and man, who was Who was she going against in the finals of the skills competition? I'm going blank. Let's see, it was Sophie,
Yeah.
Marina, Brittany
So
Griner, and Kelsey Mitchell. Was it, who was it? Was it Sophie? It was Sophie. It was Sophie because
yeah, it was Sophie. It was Sophie
they
because Sophie
said
was at home. She was
yeah,
yeah,
because
she
she was
was
at
at home.
home. Yeah. So shout out to Sophie Cunningham as well. But yeah, Alicia Gray got busy, and I like when I see her numbers, go up and she get recognition for things because she's been hooping for a minute. But a lot of times I feel like she gets overlooked, specifically when we're talking about the USA team. To be honest, not that she should have been on the team, but when they
Right.
started bringing up names of people that should be on the team or could be on the team, I feel like her name should have been one of the first three or four mentioned, and I don't remember hearing it too many times. So shout out to Alicia Gray for getting busy out there, and look, I didn't predict it, but because I said two different things, but I did say I said either Marina Mabry is gonna be first or she gonna be last. It's one or the other. There ain't no in between, and she was last.
True indeed, man. True indeed. They did a great job with this, man. And I remember somebody in the group was talking about, I can't think of who it was. I should have pulled the post to ask, like, can John Quell really shoot like that? I was like, yeah. John Quell, we're talking about somebody who's shooting like 40% from the 3 points, like right now.
Yep.
And she has 2 seasons in her long career where she shot 44% or better. So just because she's big, she's a big lady, big under the basket, moves well as anybody I've ever seen under the basket. Beautiful control, nice around the room. She can stroke that thing from the outside too. That's why she's definitely one of my 7 or 8 favorite players in this entire organization. I just love her game. She
Yep.
plays look. The crazy thing about John Quell Jones is you watch her on the court, and if you've never seen her do an interview, you would think, man, she probably like just I don't know. She always mad about stuff. Like she has this disposition, always frowning, always complaining to the ref. Every once in a while you see her get in somebody's face, but then she does an interview and it's like, yeah, man, she seems like she's the nicest, most grounded down to person ever.
Right.
Like she's like one of those people, man. But yeah, straight baller. And straight up to Dolson too. I think who was it in the group? Was it Steve Raines? Somebody in the group picked Raines, picked Dolson as well.
Mm-hmm.
People didn't realize that for a big girl, she can stroke the thing too. She shoots about 40% from the field.
Yep. Every time she get that joint near the top of the key, I'd be like, bucket. Bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But shout out like Alicia Gray, man. Like, is there a more infectious smile? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and her voice, like she's country is all outdoors. People seem to forget that she went out and did her thing in South Carolina way before this wave of South Carolina players. She was one of the greats out there as well. But her voice, her smile, her attitude, her disposition. And I'm gonna tell you probably one of my favorite 2 to 3 moments of this entire weekend was when they had her mic'd up. And before her and John Quell even got to it, she's on the sidelines talking to John Quell, and she was like, "Are you trying to fool me?" He said, I'm familiar with your game.
Right.
I was like, yo, that's straight out the movies, you know what I'm saying? And then the two of them actually end up in it.
In the
What I'm
finals.
saying? Going against each other. And at the end you heard her say later, I know it. But yeah, I love Lisa Gray, man. I really do. One of my favorite players in the entire league.
She's probably one of the few people that could say I would have been just as happy. I'm a competitor, but I would have been just as happy if she would have won, if John Quell would have won. I actually believe her. Like, I don't know if I believe a lot of people when they say stuff like that, but Alicia Gray seems genuine. I'm like, dog, if I met her and she wasn't like super nice, I would be shocked.
He one of them ones. Yeah, we were just having that conversation this morning, Nicole and I. We were talking about somebody. We were talking about, she asked me, she said, all the people you've met, musically, sports wise, and all your trips and everything, have you run into that situation where you met somebody and that you really liked, and then they end up having like a nasty attitude, or you didn't like the disposition? And I told her, luckily, no. Fortunately, I can say as many people as I've met over my lifetime, whether it's somebody in the music industry or somebody, on my trips to Dallas or New York or, up to the DC area, when people would come down. I'm fortunate that I haven't met anyone that's given me, that just left me upset or like, darn, ain't what I thought they were, or, or teed me off, whatever. I know people who say they have, but fortunately, I haven't, and now I don't even know if I want to meet anybody else. Even though it's people that's in my face, I still haven't met. But just I don't run into that. But yeah, I'd be hard pressed to think that she would be one of those people that I would come away with anything different than what we see on TV, the camera, and interviews and stuff like that.
Right. And I've only got the one person that I can think of off the top of my head. Not that they were my favorite or in any way, shape, or form, but they just weren't nice. And that's Queen Pen. I'm never letting it go. I thought I let it go until this moment. I ain't letting it go.
Word up. So, that whole thing right there was great, man. The whole weekend was great. People were looking for, of course, obviously Caitlin Clark and also Sabrina. And when we came to find out is that both of them declined to be in it. And some people still not getting it because I'm still seeing posts this morning like, yeah, I still don't know why they didn't have didn't have Caitlin here, and she didn't want to be in it. And bless her, man. She came out and told you she's tired. She's been on a nonstop deal since coming out of college. You know what I'm saying? Going straight into the WNBA, and it's been nonstop. Caitlin's tired, y'all. She's tired, and she said, "I'm already playing in the All-Star game. You feel me? But I'm gonna take this little break right here."
Nonstop since October, for real.
Yeah.
Probably September. Nonstop since she got to school for her senior year. Went through the collegiate season, made it to the chip again, and then turn around and get drafted the next week.
Yeah, bless her, man. Also, Sabrina, I'm still holding out hope. With you and I were discussing a few weeks ago, is that when we get to, they didn't do this one, but maybe, just maybe, we get them in the NBA All-Star competition, since it is in Golden State with Steph. I would love to get both of them. If they can get a way to get both Caitlin and Sabrina there to go against Steph, that would be phenomenal.
I considered that being a reason why they weren't in this. One, I considered that, and the fact that Sabrina didn't shoot well recently, and Caitlin's not shooting the three that, like, I don't think she's shooting the three that great this season. So it's not like
People don't care about that; they just want her.
right. But
Yeah.
the only problem is that people are gonna take any loss, any slight, as being a huge deal. So if they ended up doing the 2-on-2, and because Sabrina's already done it, so she ain't worried about it. But if Caitlin go out there join and score 12 on her rack, then that's a whole other conversation. And just, but it's a lot. It's a lot for a 22-year-old. I can't imagine that type of pressure now, let alone at 22 years old. So, but we shall see. We shall see what the future holds.
It's going to be great. It'll be great for promotional purposes again, because even though neither one of them will be playing for the Valkyrie squad, the promotion for the new WNBA team is going to be heavy during that All-Star Weekend.
Yeah,
down there in the NBA All-Star Weekend, the promotion is going to be heavy. They're going to be out there, man. I guarantee you, it's going to be free merchandise, all types of stuff. Have a chance to buy some other things, purchase things at the booths where the Golden State stuff and the All-Star stuff already is.
yeah.
But I can guarantee you, there's probably going to be people standing out there arena handing out free Valkyrie, T-shirts and all this type stuff, man. So they're going to use that promotion to their advantage. And like I say, why not have those two ladies, even though they won't be playing for that squad? I mean, you want bodies, right? You want people to pay attention, which they pay attention anyway, but you want to up it. You know what I'm saying? There you go right there. Perfect opportunity.
Yeah. Agreed.
The other thing that went down, of course, was the actual All-Star game that actually went down last night. And the most beautiful thing happened early in this game. So most beautiful thing. I'm sitting there watching the game, and I see your people and Kelsey Plum. They was getting into it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's they serious. They okay. They competing out this bad boy. They are competing harder than the men do in the NBA All-Star game. This thing really means something. And man, it was a beautiful sight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Uh, Definitely a little physical, especially early. But I agree that everybody was going to play hard. Everybody played hard. Um, One, because they have to, like they can't be super slacking, or it's another thing that people will try to dig into and oversell and push a whole narrative out of.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the USA team or Team USA doesn't have that long to get ready. Like for real, they need to be prepared and have some sort of continuity going into this next week because it ain't too far off where they got to do it for real. For
Yeah,
the for the
they played Tuesday, I believe, against
Yeah,
Germany, I think. And that's it.
it's on.
It's on and popping. And shout out to Enrique.
Mm.
Enrique went crazy. I put up a post. Somebody's called the fire department. You might have to call several fire departments. Because how do you come into the third period with no points
Zero.
and then light up said period with 21
Mm.
in one period? She ends up with 34 total. And of course, the All-Star game MVP, just doing what she does on a nightly basis, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Enrique Agunbuwale, as she is a problem. Like we know she can catch fire, and when she does, it ain't really much that you can do about it. Try to ride it out. You just got to ride it out. And unfortunately for Team USA, she caught fire in the second half, and it was enough to carry the WNBA team to the win.
Man, if I wasn't as lazy as I am, I would literally go find all the clips from every shot that she made in those two quarters just last night alone. And I dropped the background music, that fireman jump with Lil Wayne.
Ooh,
Ooh, that would be crucial. That'd
dang,
be a
that's bad.
crazy TikTok. Somebody listening, you got more skills and now you got more time than I got. You gonna make it. That
Dang.
jump would be fire.
See, you said call the fire department
Yeah.
earlier, and I was like, call an ambulance, tell them to pick up your people. That's what popped in my head. Fireman is even better though.
Crazy work, man, for Enrique, man. She was out here doing what she does, having fun. The team's not having a lot of success this year. They really hit the injury. They had the injury bug pretty hard this year, and they got some folks will be coming back later, but it may not be enough time to save them.
Right.
But she's still having a phenomenal season, man. And that's how you cap it off. And you talk about folks, all you seen across social media last night and the day was about her being snubbed from the Olympic team, right? She made it quite clear that she wanted to take herself out of it as well. And then if you read into it, what she was saying, she kind of threw a jab without coming too hard. It's pretty much saying, they kind of got what they want, and I
Yeah.
don't think that, in my opinion, I don't quite fit what they're looking for. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and remove myself. No matter if a spot comes open, whatever, I'm probably still not running with it. You see what I'm saying? At this
Yeah.
point, so she just kind of removed herself.
Yeah. Like she saw the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, they were looking for. Seems like they were looking for something different than a guard that needs the rock in their hand, and it's gonna be firing that joint up like that. That's just what it is.
Another highlight for me during the game was, of course, was these two. You can't talk about it without talking about these two. Everybody was waiting to see them get on the court together, and they shared the court together. And hey, she even got an assist through Angel. Um, Caitlin comes out there. She dropped 10 dimes. She fell
Yeah.
one short of breaking Sue Bird's record. And of course, Angel comes out coming out with the double-double. First rookie to do that in a All-Star game. Angel looked really good. And one of my favorite moments is also what we're viewing in this picture is because, I love how they changed uniforms at halftime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and a little spice, a little flair to it. I think the uniforms were fire too. But it was good seeing them on the court. And it was good. Did you see the video of Angel wanting Caitlin to pull that joint from deep?
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, she's shooting that. Oh, she ain't shooting." Yeah, I think everybody probably wanted
I
to
know
shoot.
some folks will act like they didn't see that because they don't want to, pit them against each other. But yeah, that was like Angel was hype. I imagine if she would have pulled it and would have made it, Angel would have been even hyper.
Yeah,
I would have been on the court.
Yep. It was one of the could have been one of the moments. Then Caitlin was on some Indiana fever. Christy Sides got me trying to pass that jump first for real, and not just go down and fire. So she didn't do it. But yeah, that would have been dope if she would have shot that joint and knocked it down.
Yeah, so shout out to these two, man, and shout out to everything about this, man. Like I said, the uniforms, the unity, everything. It was awesome, man. It was a great thing to see.
Yes,
We were talking about Arike though, out here setting things on fire as she did, and we were also talking about some other things as far as the Team USA taking this loss. And if you look across, especially in the WNBA groups of UNIN, it's like the worst thing in the world. Everybody got an opinion. That's why two of them people shouldn't be on it. Oh, this is horrible. We're in trouble. This we sending the wrong team. We should be sending team WNBA instead of this squad. Like, but most people either forget or don't even realize that this happened last time. Team WNBA beat Team USA the last time we had an Olympics. Yep. And do you remember, though, in that game, who the MVP was?
I don't. I remember, I think the score was like, I think they won by 8. Like,
something like that. Yeah, it was like
95-87, something like that.
Uh-huh.
But I can't remember.
It was like 93-85, I think.
93-85.
Yeah.
Who the MVP? I have no idea.
Drum roll, please. Ding. It was Arike. She had 26 in that game. And she was on fire then too. Not like she was on fire last night.
Right.
But she did work. She did work in that game too. So she has the privilege of being the one to win MVP. And they beat the last two Team USA squads in the All-Star game.
But she said, I might not be on the squad, but I can beat the squad. Watch this.
But you remember me.
Watch this.
Shout out to them, man. One thing I did kind of skip over, but I think we probably better touch on it because when we were talking about back on Friday night, you did have the 3-on-3 competition. A lot of talk about that, and the two things. One, I was seeing people were asking why is Sarah Burdick on the team. I'm gonna defend, Lady Vols all day long, right? Sarah Burdick is a vet who has made a living playing in these type of, these type of deals, whether it was in the Olympics, whether it was the FIBA joints, the World Cup.
Yep.
She is a vet and is used to bringing home gold. Yeah, they bring home gold. Also, they wanted someone who could help be like a coach because she's been in the league for a little bit now. So you got a coach on the floor and can be off the court. It's where somebody who's very familiar with the travel and everything it takes to win, because this thing is all about winning. And then she's got a heck of a resume. So shout out to Sarah Burdick for continuing on and doing her thing.
Yeah.
You know what the other question was, don't you?
What's that?
Why is Haley Van Lith on the squad?
Yeah, Yeah.
I saw that a lot, bro.
Because people only know her for one thing. They only know her for LSU and getting torched by Caitlin. That's it. So that's why the casuals or the new fans are kind of like.
But she's used to winning gold. They don't know she's used to winning gold. She does this too.
Yeah, on the 19
the under 18 squad. Yeah, the under 18 squad. She did it on there. She was in the FIBA joint. Last year, they had the World Cup joint that she was in, and she was the leading scorer. Total, I think 44 total points throughout the term. So she's used to doing this, and she's used
Yeah.
to winning gold. So
she do this.
yeah. So y'all folks step your basketball game up. Y'all want to talk big? Do some research if you don't know.
Right.
I'm saying so. There's a reason that both of those players are in the the 3-on-3. The crazy joint is though. You ask most people, they can't even tell you who's on the men's joint. And I can't look. The biggest name on the men's joint that I can tell you is Jimmer Fredette. Remember that name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I think about Jimmer Fredette now. Him and Adam Morrison. I've thought about both of them recently in the last few months for reasons that we ain't got to get into. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think was it the Maddox kid? I think it's Cam Maddox and I can't remember the other cats. And I think Dylan Tom. I don't know, but just for those who didn't know, there is a men's team too. outside of Bron and them, who took a close one yesterday. Could have lost yesterday. Should have lost yesterday.
Bro.
South Sudan.
South Sudan.
I was telling the dude that work. We've been arguing all the time. I said, they just better be careful this shit. This is before yesterday. Man, the men gonna come out here. Blah blah blah. This that man. That's because we ain't had Bron and all. And I said, man, I said, okay. So they played Serbia last week.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the game, you would think they beat the brakes off Serbia. But for about 2.5, 3 quarters, the joint was kind of close. For a little bit, they opened it up. So I went back and I said, yeah, man, that game was this and the third. But they won, didn't it? So yeah. So we worked yesterday. We had the game on yesterday. And that went down yesterday. And I looked at him and he was just like, oh, man, they just playing around, man. They waiting for the real. So I said, okay, they got to stop playing around.
Oh, when it get real, it's going to be real. Ain't going to be no time to, ain't going to be no oops. Oh, we all right, though, because we got now. Oh, that's out the window. Mess around and get that bronze and be looking crazy.
No doubt. What else we got here? Anything else you can think of on the All-Star? I want to say this about Diana Taurasi. Like I said, I told you I was impressed with her on the orange carpet and all that. This means something to her because you could see when they lost, and all of them were just standing around afterwards. You can see her talking and coaching the team up. You can see the seriousness in her eyes. But what I also love, which would make you think maybe I wonder if it's an indicator of her knowing that this is it for real. You see it when they announced her.
Actually, didn't.
So when they were doing the announcement at the beginning, you saw most of the folks, everybody was happy, putting their hands up, clapping, smiling. She looked kind of serious. She looked kind of emotional. Yeah, she was kind of. If you ever get a chance to begin again, she kind of looked emotional. And I'm saying to myself, well, I know she's done this a long time. She loves the game, but I wonder in her mind, is she really saying that I know this is really it for me for real?
And she was at the crib,
and
they just named the joint after her. Was it the practice facility?
Yep.
So it was a lot. There's probably a lot going on in her mind. But yeah, this could be it. This could be it. I mean, it's most likely her last Olympics, like that, one way or the other. That's probably correct.
But it would be crazy to think. It was not crazy to think. You think of her age, but if this ends up being her last year, we can say she's going out with a bang because she's having a great season. She's having a season. You're not supposed to be that old and have the season that she's having, unless you're Bron.
Her and Bron.
Like, so shout out to her. So yeah, it was a great All-Star weekend. I loved it. Is there anything you would like to see them add or change?
I would like to see them add. I know this is probably against WNBA protocol, and they probably be like, nah, but I'd like to see them add a couple men in the mix somewhere that might bring some. I mean, even though the love is already, something like that.
Yeah,
there can be something, or bring back. This would be perfect. bring back the three person competition, the shooting joint. Bring that back, but put it on WNBA All-Star Weekend instead of NBA All-Star Weekend. Boom. There you go. That's it right there. That's it right there. Incorporate that
So
in the women.
we get an NBA, we get some NBA players to come through.
Yep.
I mean, they be at the games anyway, right? So yeah,
That's it. That's my call right there.
that would be dope. Imagine like they'd have had the joint like last night, and let's just per se, well, now we couldn't have had Book because he playing in the on the Olympic joint.
Right, but that's just once every 4 years. So
But you still, I mean, you still can play. You know, somebody you
could have been Bradley Beal. He's still there.
Yeah, for sure. That would definitely have been dope. What would you think? I don't know if they would entertain this idea because you're always worried about people getting hurt. I still think you could probably pull it off, even if it be some lesser known players. What would you think of a keeping the 3-on-3, keeping the 3-on-3 situation, but just having other NBA players that's not on the USA team?
I'd say retired. Throw in a retired player, maybe
that was my next thing.
A current retired. Because it's going to be 3-on-3. It's going to be, but how many people on the team? 5, 6? I don't know. So get you. I mean, the current. I'm not even concerned about a current NBA player necessarily, but a nice old retired player that, like somebody that could or might consider playing in the big three, or somebody even older than that that's still active. Throw them out there with a retired WNBA veteran.
That would be dope.
And a current, a mixture, just a mixture.
That would be dope. That would be dope. Looking back at the first half of the season, man. First half of the season, we had a lot of things go on, man. Like we got the viewership is up, the attendance is up. We know most of the reasons why. But it's just been a crazy situation all year long, the first half of the season, and majority of it has been really positive. We had some things that popped up early in the season. We had some things that just recently popped off before the actual, All-Star break or Olympic break. What are we gonna do without basketball for all this time, man? I mean, we're gonna have basketball, but we ain't gonna have WNBA. But anyway, so it's a lot of stuff, man. I'll start though, bro. I think the most glaring thing to me is looking at the Liberty. The Liberty are sitting there. What are they? 21-4, I think. Let me see.
21-4, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. They're sitting there at 21-4. And you and I have already acknowledged that something still ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you be 21-4? People think we're crazy talking about this, and still have things not clicking.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know your people's Stewie. I'm gonna be honest with you. Stewie is not having the type of season that we used to see in Stewie had. I need to look at some of the numbers and say I'm crazy, but if you've watched enough Liberty games, some seems to be just a little bit off with Stewie in some of these games. And not just her, some of the chemistry as well. But it's just, and it was just crazy because just about all of them have come, it's pretty much the same squad. Thornton getting a lot more PT. And to me, she has been, you want to talk about a real reason that this team is only lost 4 games. We can talk about John Quell all day. We can talk about Stewie. We can talk about Sabrina. Sabrina's been, she's been pretty good. But Thornton, and I'm a Benazer fan. That's one of my people. But she's been in and out of the lineup with injuries. But Thornton has been a key call for them. But it's just at 21-4, I don't know. I would probably think they'd have another 3 to 4 losses from what I've seen.
Right. So what's the question?
That's not really a question. I was just throwing it out there. Just crazy things that I've noticed, certain things that we talked in the first half of the season.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know what? Something that you probably a lot of people noticed or may have just paid attention to in the last week is the Dallas Wings are 6-19.
Yeah.
part of the season they didn't have Natasha Howard. Well, Natasha Howard hasn't been there the whole game, the whole season. Odyssey Sims just got back, and you got Enrique. As it was mentioned during the last game when they played Indiana on Wednesday, Dallas is kind of like their squad ain't bad though. They got a decent
Yeah.
squad, and 6-19 is crazy. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they can really come back from that. But they're gonna pose some problems for people in the second half of the season. When we get back, what April 15th? I mean August 15th, something like that.
Uh-huh.
When we get back, Dallas is going to pose problems for whoever. Whoever, there's not going to be a night off. Like they got, let me see, do they have the worst? They're tied for the worst record. Them and the Mystics and also
Right.
the Sparks have
Watch.
only 6 wins. But
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to want to see Dallas, regardless of who you are, from New York to Vegas to Connecticut, whoever. You're not going to want
Uh-huh.
to see Dallas uh, too many times.
It's crazy. And it's crazy to see somebody like Sims who's just waiting around to get the call.
And come out
Come
with the ball.
in,
She out
come
here.
out balling. I've always loved Odyssey Sims. I've always been a fan of hers.
Me
But to
too.
come out
Definitely.
balling. And you're talking about them adding her and getting these pieces back, and then Satu Sabli is supposed to come back if she's on track after the Olympics.
Crazy.
And a couple of weeks ago, I did see some. They claim that she's on track to come back.
That's crazy.
So if
That's
if
crazy. Hey, that's
does
crazy
anybody
for real.
try to make a run for that eighth spot, if there's because we don't know what's going to happen after the teams can fall apart, things of that nature. I mean, we're looking at Chicago right now, 4 games ahead of them. And they got something that they're going to be dealing with now. We're going to talk about it in a second, but you just never know. We're talking about those 8 spots, bro. 8 spots at least get into the playoffs. You just never know. Teams, they got a whole, they got a big time period off. Chemistry can fall out for some people. There's an unfortunate situation that they've gone through with the injuries. Matter of fact, the bottom 3 teams in the WNBA right now have been through some injury stuff this year with players. Washington, of course, is dealing with not just injuries but departures, but still they've had some injuries to some of their key players.
Right.
They've been in and out of the have been in and out of the lineup most of the season. We know about LA and Brink and a couple of other players there. Then um, Atlanta there. Dallas is down here at the bottom under this, but yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, Sabli comes back.
That's gonna be tough. Bro. That's gonna be tough.
Um, the Aces surprised me a little bit too, and the reason I say that is even without Chelsea Gray, without the point guard, I thought at the beginning of the year that they would be a lot better than they were. You know what I'm saying? I thought they just not to diminish the point guard because you know how I feel about her. And we knew what she was going to be when she came back, what they were going to be when she came back. But they struggled a little bit more than I thought they would without her.
Hmm.
So
I mean, Chelsea Gray is a big deal. But yeah, I agree because they were sitting at like 5-5 at one point, something like
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
like how Sway and I like to mention Cam and May. Shout out to Cam and May. It's not really a shout out, but Cam likes to say that Asia started taking over now. She got tired of trying to be unselfish and them losing. No, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing because she been balling since the beginning, since the first game.
She came
She
out with
been
a chip on her shoulder this year.
destroying people. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
mad. She mad about that MVP last year. She mad
yeah.
about that John for real, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her. So she out here taking names and all that, and yeah, she ain't slacked off not one bit, not one bit. But you do see the difference in the Aces since Chelsea Gray came back, and it might just be that everybody's able to be themselves and just be more comfortable and playing off the ball and not having to worry about that part of it. Plus, even before Chelsea got there, remember they had Kelsey Plum at the point, but then they had Jackie at the point. Like they was trying to figure out what they was doing. Then they had Rakina at the point. Um, you throw Sydney in there sometimes. Like they had different people. And my girl, shoot, that went to JMU, blanking on her name, but they had multiple people at the point before Chelsea Gray got there, and
Yep,
I guess they never settled for real on anybody who got 100%. Because I thought Jackie was gonna be the point at that point. Like she
I
was
did
the.
too.
I thought they were just gonna try to turn her into a point guard and let that be what it was. But then he went out and got Chelsea Gray, and it was like, oh, all right, well, we really doing this.
Then the other big story, the most recent story, will be of course Marina Mabry. She is out of Chicago. She is headed down to play on the squad in Connecticut, which has a whole lot of interesting things with this one, as we all know. And of course, you stated it in the group as well. It was my first thought when I saw this go down.
Yeah.
Um, and so there's a history there with one of the players of the Connecticut Sun. And for all those who might not be aware, check this out.
Slap by Carrington. Carrington and Mabry, a little extra stuff. And a technical foul called on Mabry.
Yeah, there's some history between Mabry and Dejanay Carrington, and it dates back to when Mabry was part of the Dallas Wings before, what was it, coach in Chicago? James Avery? What's the last name?
He said James Avery. No, it ain't James Avery.
It's
But I
James.
can't. But yeah, James. Yes.
Yeah, well, James, whatever his name was.
Then named the
He
GM.
went to James Wade. Where do I
Wade.
get
There you
James
go.
Avery from, bro? I don't know.
The
James
actor.
Wade helped pull some strings because he wanted Mabry in Chicago. He did all this before he decided to leave for an assistant coaching job with the Toronto Raptors. And they gave up some stuff. And they gave up, 2 first-round picks? And I think they gave up the rights to Phoebus. Yeah, so in this move. And it was well stated that Mabry didn't want to be there at all. Like, Mabry didn't like Chicago. And if you listen to some of the Chicago people talk, and it was way before this happened, I was hearing this in a couple of Chicago groups and the Sky groups, that a lot of players are not enamored with Chicago because they feel like they don't take the team as seriously as some of the other owners, and they're not putting their money where, into the product. If they're talking about the facilities are not as good as some of the other places, the training facilities, some of the accommodations. And I don't know how true it is, but one thing I did hear that may have led to one of the reasons that our girl KFC was looking to not return there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so Mabry asked for the trade, which we found out, and they granted her. And apparently she knew that it was going to go down before she played her last game. All she had to do was not get hurt. So
Wow. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, you can go back to college. For whatever reason, my youngest daughter likes Marina Mabry since college. But even in college, to me, I was like, man, her attitude, like being a fierce competitor is one thing. I can get all that. Her attitude is just like, I just don't like it. I've never liked the way she presents. And then to have that in Chicago on that particular team, I was like, how does this even work? This don't seem right. But taking that to Connecticut is crazy because I'm sure nobody was expecting Kennedy Carter to come out and go crazy and do what she's been doing all season. So that's probably part of it, because that's taking shots away from Mabry, or responsibility away from her. Add to that, Angels shine, but also I know you've seen it multiple times when Mabry is talking to Kennedy. I don't remember what happened beforehand. Mabry is talking to Kennedy during the game, and then Angel comes in and starts talking to Kennedy, and then they're like this, and
Yeah.
Mabry's to the side. I know she, to me, I know she felt some type of way that made her feel some type of way, and she like, oh, it's like that. Yeah, I feel like she ain't like that. But going to Connecticut, like I don't know how that attitude gonna fly, bro. Like you already got Dejanay, but I'm looking at the team. You got Alyssa, Dewana, like so. You telling me that attitude is supposed to match with these people? I can't even see it. I cannot see it. I cannot see it at all.
Yeah, it's so she said she wanted to win. So if you listen to the little subtle jab she throws in the press conference, she says something about I want to go to a championship team because I've never had that before. Well, she means
Yeah,
she's never had that in the WNBA. You
yeah,
know, when she was in college, what was it, 2018, 19, they, Notre Dame, they won it. She was on there with Jackie Young and Brianna Turner and all of them, I believe, were on that squad.
right.
So, and so she means at the WNBA level, she's never had that. Now, my thought is, one, the veterans are going to definitely have to step in because I'm going to tell you, Dejanay, another person that I love, like she don't give a darn about nothing.
At
I
all.
mean, is this what it's going to be? This is what it's going to be. I think this is where the presence of the couple comes in. Especially Dewana Bond. I think they come in and say, look, we somewhat of a sisterhood here, but we ain't gotta like each other. Shoot, Brianna, she probably, Dewana probably looks at, look, I don't like her. Half the time when we at home, I don't like when we on the court. We're gonna do this. And other people I might not hang with or talk to after, but we here for a purpose, especially after what happened to us last year when they thought we really had a chance. I
Yeah.
think when your veterans actually come in and help, what's the coach? Stephanie White. Help Coach White up, and they take the lead and say, look, this is how it goes now. We're here for this, we're here for that. Your 3-point shooting, we need that here. I'm gonna get you, Tom's like, I'm gonna get you the rock. Don't even worry about that. I need you to knock it down, and we're just gonna make this thing work. But I think the couple is gonna be the driving force in making this thing, putting it together, and making it run.
Hey, Prime, she coming off the bench though.
Oh, hey, that's fire. If she can regain her 3-point shooting, because what did she leave Notre Dame? I think she was the all-time leading scorer, a 3-point shooter when she left out there. If she can regain her 3-point shooting, that's a plus for the team. You want to win or not?
Yeah, fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I can see them losing. She got a little attitude in the mouth to her. You see her sitting there telling Stephanie, like, we down by 8, coach. You want to win? Put Mabry in. Let me spin. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that as well. Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what's going to be the best moment? Whether they end up liking each other or not, it's going to be that moment when you realize they're there for one common cause, and you see the moment when they go on a run or something, and then the team calls a timeout, and they're walking back to the bench, and you see her and D's, and they either dapping each other up, or each other up, and then both go back and sit down on the bench, get to see what the next play.
Right.
Here for a common cause, man. So, we'll see how that works out. I just want to give a shout out to the rookies. The only other thing I really got about this season for the most part was a couple of things. One, I'm going to give a shout out to the rookies. We've been talking about Angel and Caitlin all the time, whether it's good or bad. But I'm not getting up out here without showing my girls some love because nobody's paying attention. But I said it before the draft when you and I were talking. I said, you understand, this is a player. It makes it look easy a lot of times. And that's for Kia Jackson.
Yeah.
Man, all that is going on in LA right now, it's the good and the bad. Cameron Brink, unfortunately, going down, who was having a pretty good season, especially defensively, as we talked about around draft time. The resurgence of De'Erica Hamby, it's been great, but they're going through some things. They're going to be one of those teams that are going to end up in the lottery. And I've been joking about it. I was hoping Well, I was joking about Paige Beckers maybe ending up there. I don't want to see that. I see Paige on the East Coast, so that way I ain't got to struggle to stay up and watch no games all the time. When they play them late joints, being like them in Seattle or whoever. I need Paige to stay on the East Coast. I'm coming to the Mystics or something, but that would be fire. But Rickea Jackson has been absolute fire, and she started to find herself early in the season that she was coming off the bench, but when they put her in the starting lineup, she is getting money. So I was going to show her some love. I won't get out of here without doing that.
Absolutely. I mean, I had the same person. Ain't much else to say because she's somebody said in the rookie of the year conversation. I'm like, all right, now let's pump our brakes a little bit. But she is. I think she's averaging in double digits though. I think she's right at 11 or something like that. But yeah, she's been balling, and we look forward to more of it in 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks away.
One quick shout out. I want to give a shout out to Ariel Atkins because all that they've been through and what they're going through.
Right.
I don't know. It's been a fire ignited in her here recently.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever seen it before in her.
She was cooking
she's always been a baller, but lately, Ariel is like, man, get that. I'm going to get money. We going out swinging. Y'all gonna know. And so I had to give her some love, man. She's balling.
If you're throwing out names, I'm gonna throw out Nafisa Carr. You gotta mention her because she's been balling and they won the I don't even know what it's Commissioner's Cup. Is it Commissioner's Cup?
Commissioner's Cup.
It is Commissioner's Cup. They won the Commissioner's Cup, and she has been balling since the beginning of the season. Since the beginning of the season, she was out recently, but she's been balling since the beginning of the season. I'm talking about big balling, like not quite Asia, but not far off. Not fall.
And the other thing I got as far as the first part of the season, I'm still puzzled, as I told you before. There's injuries involved. I get it, but I just can't understand why Atlanta's only won 7 games. That talent, that you talk about the talent pool, and I know, we had Howard has been injured, and we've had some people in and out of that lineup. But with Alicia Gray, Tina Charles been playing well.
Miss Parker.
Yeah, Parker Tyus. I mean, they just so much talent. Nas Hillman has been playing pretty well for somebody who's still young in this league. I just don't understand. It's just hard for me to fathom this team only has 7 wins.
Yeah, I got nothing, Prime, because it doesn't make sense to me either. I like that they brought Destiny Henson in.
Not to her bouncing around too, and when she gets in there, she balls. It's just it's just in the matter. But maybe she's gonna stick here. Then next thing we know, we see.
And it's tough. Here's what people. I wish people would consider this. Take your favorite NBA player. Name right off your favorite 10, 15 NBA players. Now, imagine them having to be on a squad, and there's only 12 teams. There's only 12 teams. 12 teams, 12 players, 144 spots. Whole lot of people favorites ain't going to make it. They're not going to make it. And I don't think people consider that a lot of the time. I don't think people, or maybe they just don't understand it or pay attention to it. They don't care enough to pay attention to it, to be honest. And it's just coming around where people are really paying attention on a grander scale. But yeah, it's tough. It's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here. That's why you had so many, first round, second round players who don't stick, or they get drafted 1 year, play, and then you don't see them again. You'd be like, what happened to them? That's what happened to them, because there's not enough spots for the level of talent of these players. And this is the most elite league in the world. And it's only 12 teams. That's tough. It's tough.
It's tough. Let's give out some awards, man. Let's give out some awards in the first half of the season. We know things could change.
Yep.
But let's start this off. The obvious question, probably won't take long to answer it because we just talked about it. So at this point, because some things have transpired since we had our last conversation, who's your rookie of the year right now?
I'm going Caitlin Clark. basically because it's running through her. The offense is running through her. It's crazy to see, and I get it. Trust me, I get it. She averages two more turnovers than anybody else in the league. Two more turnovers per game than anybody else in the league.
Already broke a record too.
But she sure does have that ball a lot. She has the ball a lot, and she's changed her game. You've seen it since the beginning of the season.
Love to see it.
Even though she still took the most shots
Mm.
last game, and she took the most shots in the first game, and she took the most shots a lot of times in between. But I just feel like it's the team trying to figure out how to best use her, as opposed to uh, her just out here firing up, because she ain't just out there just gunning. It ain't like that. But it's hard to it's if you already have a bias, then it's gonna be hard for something logical to kind of sneak in there and be like, look, this is part of what it is, because you don't want to hear it already. You don't want to hear it. I just saw that myself, and the fact that she went 24-19 the other day, and people was like, well, they ain't win. Well, she ain't do it. I'm like, dog, are you telling me that 24-19 you can't just say she had a good game? You can't even do that. That's
Or
crazy.
they point out the fact that she turned the ball over late.
Yeah, and she did. She did. She turned it over. She actually turned it over twice late. One, it didn't matter because it was the very end of the game, like the last play. But the one that you're talking about was when she dribbled down and she got herself in trouble, and it got stripped, and that pretty much sealed the game. They were already down by, I think, 4 at that point, but that sealed the game. The game was a wrap at that point. Man, forget all that. You can't just focus on the one part, the one thing. Like you got to appreciate 24-19, regardless if you like it or not.
Yeah, it's clocked now. I know we talked a couple of weeks ago about it, and I said that I had Angel Reese by a hair. Now, I still don't think this is a blowout, but I think just if we're talking at this point, right, leading into the Olympic break, the triple-double, and then the 19 assist situation, all that came in a short period of time. And if there was a little bit of a gap, I think that moved her just ahead at this point. But Angel Reese has been phenomenal, whether she's having a good game from the floor or not. Her energy, man. Watching videos of her again, because I've seen just about every game they played this year, of her effort. It's crazy because you're watching her work at least half the time when she's got at least 2 people around her, right? So it takes a great deal of not just ability and agility, but it takes being able to have a good eye for where the ball is going to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably the ball, shooting from here is a good chance the ball is coming off this side. Let me get in a position. You know what I'm saying? Her anticipation is crazy. And then if you look at her, when she's not getting a little frustrated or get a little too happy, she's actually a pretty darn good defender. Now, granted, people see that she's long, and they automatically classify her as like she should be this dominant power forward. She's long. She's not the biggest person weight-wise. But sometimes you're going to go against some dogs or somebody, or you just happen to end up down there with Jonquel Jones. Yeah, you're probably going to lose that. You know what I'm saying? But so people just look at it because she's long. But other than that, I think she's had a phenomenal season. I still at this point don't think it's a lock, because a lot of things could change. A lot of things could change, toward the second half of the season. But with the growth of Caitlin Clark's game, if she just keeps on this track that she has now, I don't think she has to score 24 every game. But the assists, because like it or not, we can say all we want to about her turnovers or field goal percentage. In my opinion, she's during there an elite passer. When her passing is crazy. I mean, when I say that, I'm watching her complete passes, people, or at least get them the ball. It's up to them to catch it sometimes, but and I'm sitting there watching, people like Chelsea Gray. I'm like, how in the world did she pass that? Like, or the defender's passing. She's passing and the defender and immediately passes the ball on a switch off. Like her timing is crazy. So she keeps on that trajectory. I think that's a good path for her to win it as well. But I don't think this is over. But I'm with you. I have Caitlin by the slightest right now.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens after the break. Let me get
Agreed.
back. Defensive Player of the Year.
I want to say it. I can't do it though. It's Asia. It's Asia Wilson.
Okay, and I was going to say that.
It's Asia Wilson.
It's got to be. I don't think people realize it's seeing her dominate offensively and getting what she wants. I don't think people back can realize is how dominant she is defensively. Was she first in blocks? Second by only less than a point in rebounds altogether to Angel Reese. And she's
Crazy.
fourth in steals, I believe. She's like top 5. She's it's got to be her.
It is. I want to say Dejanay so bad though. I want to say Dejanay so bad because of the way she's been locking up and the way she done Caitlin Clark multiple times this season already. Yeah. But it's Asia Wilson. That's just what it is. I'm sorry.
And she ain't got no problem with putting her best friends and her friends on the floor either. You see what she did to Alicia Gray.
Yep.
Couple times.
And she before the season, I think Alicia was like, "You ain't gonna never block my shot," because Asia said she had never blocked her shot. A couple weeks in, blow, got him.
Yeah, I watched her give Aaliyah Boston that work too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there like, okay, all right. But it's all love. It's all good. It's just a competitor to me. It's all love.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's got to be Asian. And then of course, DNA's got to be there. I'm gonna give a special shout out to Natasha Cloud, because if you see Natasha Cloud lock you down, she gonna lock you down. And of course, Magregor too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
One thing about her, she gonna get you down low. You think you can step out and pull the mid range and sometime the 3? I'm gonna come out there too.
Yep.
My leg's good enough that you can, I can get out there and do things. So shout out to her
for sure
as well. 2.5 blocks, almost, just under 3 blocks a game. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Second only to Asia. Wilson in the category. It's crazy. This is a tricky one. Most improved.
Yeah, I mean, why? I don't know why you saying it's tricky. Why you saying it's tricky?
Yeah, well, it can be tricky depending on who you pick. So,
it's Kennedy Carter.
But is she?
You can't not be on a team, then be on a team and be leading that team, shooting over 50% from the field. You can't have all that, be out of the league and then show up.
Well, you know how I feel about it, because I told you before she came in the league, I didn't expect all this to happen to her. Even I know she had an attitude, but I said, Source, remember the name Kennedy Carter? He's going to be a star.
Yeah,
and I said that. So I don't put her in mind, and I'm as big a fan as anyone, because I think a little bit different than the way you think on it. Am I saying she's most improved when she won't even in the league? Now we could take it as at the most improved attitude. I don't know. I think she's always been a baller, and I ain't really sure this improved. She's just corralled a little bit. She's she know what she has to lose. She's in the right situation. So I don't know if I quite her being one of my favorite players is one thing. I don't know if I'm putting her in the most improved category. Now next year, this year she goes from 16 points to 20. Next year, 19, and then there's some. Then I might put her in that category, but I'm not putting that for me. Just because of the fact of not being in the, not being in the league. A lot of people, man. My girl, shout out Tennessee again. Jordan Horston is quietly having a really good year playing with the dogs that she's playing with now.
She's playing with a squad.
Yeah, playing with a squad. But she looks, not that she looked bad last year. She was pretty good defensively. But she's looked really good on both sides of the ball, all things considered. So I'm going to give her a shout out. I'm gonna throw one at you, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but hear me out. And this is not my pick either. Sabrina Ionescu. Tell you why. I think one, if you look at her points per game have gone up slightly than last year. I think she's down a little bit on rebounds, but her sister up. And then she's staying steady at that 2.5 turnovers a game, which which if you look at every year in her career since she's been in the league, she's been at 2.5, 2. Well, she's dropped. She started the league at like 4, 5 turnovers a game, goes down to 3.5. Last 2 seasons, she's been right at about 2.5. She doesn't turn the ball over. And I'm old enough to remember, old enough just a year ago, when people were talking about she was somebody that was not good enough
The second year.
to get a shoe.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yep.
And now you're watching now, she's one of the best players in the league, man. Y'all miss me with that. Like, she is legit. Like, there's nothing you can tell me that a fan can come tell me about her to tell me she don't deserve anything that she's getting. That's nothing. You know what I'm saying? We got to be real conversation. I'm not gonna lay somebody out for tell me that. Sabrina Ionescu is a problem who does not turn the ball over, y'all. But she has it, she don't turn the ball over. Gets money. But my pick, we've talked about her a lot, and I got to give it love. It's Hamby, man. It's the Erica Hamby. And the reason I say that, source, she's averaging 19 points per game, bro. And I understand there's some things with that. She's getting the playing time, and I understand that. But she's 19 points a game. She's never averaged more than 13, maybe 14, I believe it is, in her entire career. She's been in the league for a long time. And I understand the team ain't balling.
Right.
10 boards. The most she's ever averaged in a season is 7. So to me, 10 years in the league and to put up those numbers, your best numbers, to have your best season at your 10th year, to me, is earns most improved player.
And get scooped up for the 3-on-3 squad.
Yeah, she looked good too. Yeah, she looked good last night. So yeah, she's definitely MVP. Not named Asia Wilson. Man, it's too easy.
Yours is too easy.
Too easy. I mentioned the name a couple of times in our last NBA show.
Oh, dang! I don't know who yours is, Brian. Mine is Nafisa Collier. I'm going back to Nafisa Collier.
Really?
Yeah, she been, like I said, she been killing. When she's been healthy, she's been killing. They near the top of the conference division. What's the difference? Different division. The division. The top of the division, near the top of the conference. Actually, the top of the league. And she's been destroying. She's been destroying. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. At the top of the division. Excuse me. So, yeah, I'm going to Fisa Collier because she has all the problems and don't get half the love.
Nafisa. Now I'm joking. I'm mine Nafisa Collier too. But
I was like, who you gonna say?
Yeah, it's Nafisa Collier, man. Look, we know how they were balling before she got hurt. They're trying to stay afloat now. I think 5-5 over the last 10 games, but still be sitting there. She put them in a great position. And if you break down her numbers, you got to go on what she's the 4th leading scorer in the league, got 20 a game, 3rd in steals, and 3rd in rebounds. Like, she's just been different. Not that she hasn't always been a very good player, but she's been different.
These last 2 years, I think she kind of went crazy last year.
Yeah, she went crazy last year too. So, yeah, not named Asia Wilson. It is definitely Nafisa Collier out there. So,
but the answer is Asia Wilson, as we all know.
We already know. It's not even the only question with Asia Wilson is that does she sweep the votes? How many first place votes does she get, and all that? Because if you remember, I'm trying to think. John Quell won it in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
She had 48, I believe, out of the 49 first place votes.
That's crazy in itself.
So the breakdown in the voting is going to be crazy to see how the breakdown goes. And then it means that one person who doesn't it's always know who this person is.
It's always
point him out.
Make the votes public.
Yeah, put your name on it. Because there is no way. I don't know last time we've seen this type of dominance. We ain't talking about just being good and clearly the best. The dominance.
Yeah. On a nightly basis.
Yeah, on a nightly basis. Take that mess personal. And she
She
don't,
go,
she don't like to lose. You heard her comment the other day. They lost the game to, what was it, the Angel Reese now? She
yeah.
walked off the court, said, you know what I'm saying? So much like, we just got our beat. And all they worried about is going to see some Usher. Not quite in those words, but
Now you know what though? What I heard, I don't know because
taking
I
a
didn't see
picture.
the video. I heard it was the refs. I heard it was the refs taking the picture with Usher. I don't know because that was the first thing I
Oh,
heard.
got
That
you.
was the first thing I heard, and then
Right.
because when I saw it, I was like, "Dang, she wild." I know she wild, but to call her players, her teammates out like that is OD wild. But
But I
that's
think she could do that, though.
she could, she
She
would,
can do it. They're going to respect her, bro.
she would. But I think the story. I mean, I can't confirm it one way or the other, but I feel like it was a
That
ref.
would be
But I'm
wild,
not sure. I'm not sure.
though. That would definitely be wild. Um, Coach of the year, I know people mad with her right now. All the smack talk I seen after last night, but I'm still going with Cheryl Reed.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going with Cheryl Reed right now.
We locked in on that. Minnesota
No doubt.
and her
All right.
gear, and her gear.
True
Got to show
indeed.
love. Show love to the gear that she wears. So yeah.
You got any predictions for the second half of the season?
Pain. No. Um, it's so far away, man. I'm so sad that it's so far away. Like you are always
We're going to get through
super.
this together.
You are always super locked in on baseball. You always super locked in on baseball. And I pay attention to baseball, but not nearly as much as you do, especially this season. So we got to ride with these Olympics to get to early August to wait for mid-August for the WNBA to come back. I don't like it. But predictions. I predict that, unfortunately for many, Caitlin Clark's numbers are just going to get better.
I
Her
agree.
turnovers are not going to get better, but her overall game is going to get better. And please understand, I don't like her attitude. I don't like how she cried to the refs. She's been barking on
Yeah,
the refs since game one, literally game one. I don't like when she flopping. I don't like when she whining. I don't like none of that stuff. None of it. And I don't like the fact that she don't really play defense for real. Like, it's crazy how Odyssey Sims was just eating her lunch.
yes,
Um,
indeed.
but I can't if I didn't think she if I think that she didn't play that well early and she was still having okay numbers, then the way her game has changed thus far, I mean the numbers are only gonna get better. And
Indeed.
you're gonna get these 24-19. I mean 24-19 is crazy, but you're gonna get these 20 and 12. You're gonna get these 18 and 14 games more often. And people gonna have to respect it at some point. You gotta respect it at some point.
Indeed. Indeed. I agree with you on that. I got a couple of wild ones. Well, one of them might not be as wild. Uh, Kennedy Carter. We were talking about Kennedy Carter earlier. I
Hmm.
believe Kennedy Carter points per game finishes in the top 10.
Ooh,
Now, she's already caught fire. She's in the starting lineup. And then she's gonna have even more of a goal with Mabry gone.
absolutely.
And as that team tries to get into playoff position, which the task may have become a little bit tougher, but we're going to see what happens. Teaspoon have to put on a crazy coaching expedition here, but it's right there for them. They're just out of the 8th spot at the moment. So, but I have Kennedy Carter moving up in the top 10 points per game. She's currently 15th. So I have that happen.
I
And
like
I
that.
got one that some people may say is wild. And I don't know if it's wild or not. I don't think it is, but it might be. KFC finishes third in the MVP vote.
Third. Ooh.
And I say that because she's balling now. But I know she's going to have to fight some star power in this
Yeah.
thing. But I'm just throwing it out. Just throwing it out there as we talk about another player who's been in the league for years and now is having the best season she's ever had, going to another team playing with some dogs. Well, a dog went to play with some dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I say that respectfully because I love KFC. The player, not so much the chicken anymore.
Yeah, I don't trust that chicken, but
yeah. Bring back the 11 herbs and spices. I can't deal with these 7 y'all been giving us for the past 10, 12 years.
I don't even mess with the people like that. They got to be free if it's gonna be me. Yeah, shout out to Khalid Cobb, for real.
Yeah, so that's just a wild one for me. They're throwing it out there. She got to be up there in that voting somewhere. I would probably want to fight somebody. She don't be in the top 5. I gotta go find out who I need to talk to. I'm gonna see the manager, but I'm saying number 3.
The McManager.
So we'll see what happens. We'll be without the WNBA for a little bit, sadly enough. But we're going to enjoy the Olympics though, and hopefully the men, but definitely the women, bring that goal on back for sure. Last thing I got, source for we peel out here. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it other than the obvious stuff, but I got to ask my man about this. And this is a situation with your boy Russ. Looks like he's headed to the Denver Nuggets. What you think about this situation? Is his best chance to ever win a title, I guess?
I don't know what to do with this, Prime. I don't know. Because the Joker, if I'm not mistaken, the Joker been pushing for this. He's been pushing for Russ.
Yeah, they say he was pushing for it.
So, okay. Joker has the ball. Boom, boom, boom. Murray, Porter, Gordon, and Westbrook cutting? I guess. I don't know, Prime. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of Russell at this point. Like,
yeah, I gotta sit back and think about it too. I was like, okay, I wonder how Jokic's gonna feel about it. Then you see that, like you said, we see the post that he's pushing for it. Yeah. He went and told the people going to bring the man over. You know, he knows his game, and you know he plays him all the time. He's going to a team that's that is still it's gonna be still vet heavy. He's also going to a team that's won it. And he's going to a team that's going to have to play against it already in the offseason, which seems to be playing in an improved conference.
Yeah.
So it's all about Russ going out there and accepting his role, whatever that role may be, off the bench, whatever that role may be, and them gelling and getting it together. But but as far as his dish game, I can see the magic being worked between him and Jokic. I can see that magic.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of highlights. You can bet that. Him getting the ball right where he wants it, something like that. So I can see that part working. But I don't know, man.
It's gonna be interesting.
We shall see.
Yes, sir.
After I assess this a little bit more, there's probably a conversation have later down the line, maybe before the season, with we get on with Didge and Joel and them to see how they assess it. Because I know they'll have some thoughts on it, especially Juwan. So very interesting. Best shot to get a ring. Maybe hopefully, what I'm saying, he don't go out like Chris Paul is gonna seem to have to go. Which I thought was very interesting, but because what's funny with him was he signed quick. Like he left quick. And his thing was, it was like, he said, Chris Paul said playing time was the main thing. He said he didn't want to spend the last day of his career sitting on the bench. Not starting. He wanted playing time. And I'm like, he signed that joint quick. Was there not any other teams that you would want to get playing time that you could have went to? Other than San Antonio? I don't know.
I think it's a good spot for Paul, personally. I think it's good because everybody going to listen to him. So.
Oh, I like that. It's just when he made this statement about playing time. I like everything.
Oh no, that's what it is. That's
So.
Like I don't want to sit on the bench. I don't care how good we are.
That's it, y'all. That's all we got for today. We will be back at some point, next week or the week after. with some more content for you, whether it's sports related, TV or movie related, music related. Your boys will be back. You can
Yep.
always find us over on Facebook, the SBP. You can also go over to the YouTube channel SBP TV. You'll find our content there. And hey, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. But until next time, I'm Prime. Tell them who you are, Source, and where they can find you.
Source, of course, on TikTok and Instagram. Source and Company. Oh no, don't really do that. Source is chilling, man. Forget that. Yeah, TikTok. Just find me there, and we'll go from
And I'm gonna be where I'm at. Peace.
there.